these things and people sitting on them and not paying attention and not connecting with people around them are driving me, and I bet a lot of you, bonkers. So let's get into 4 action steps to get people off of these and actually build real connections with real people that are right in front of them. So let's do it. My daughter came back from a Halloween party the other day, and she said, my goodness, all my friends were, they just buried on these phones. And I say phone, but the little computer devices, right? Because they're not actually using them as a phone. They're just using them to not be with the people around them, at least in my opinion. They're trying to be with everybody that's not there. And it's, everyone's got their own reasons. And I don't want to dig into, some people try to use them as a crutch because they don't want to interact with other people. Some have FOMO, fear of missing out, and they've got to know what everyone else is doing. And some of them are just generally interested in playing a game or looking at something on social media. But either way, it's destroying our ability to build trust and connect with those around you. I was recently reviewing a book by MIT sociologist Sherry Turkle, Turkle. I'm sorry, I'm destroying your name, but you're pretty awesome. In her book, Reclaiming Conversations, she basically says that we're losing our ability to have a deeper, more spontaneous relationship, more spontaneous conversations with others because of the way that we're dealing with social media and not engaging. And so basically, we as human beings need to connect with other humans. And the way to do that is with eye contact, not just listening, but really starting to develop empathy for them and being there for each other. And then most of all, truly understanding the other person. Now, I don't know how you do that if you're always staring at some screen on a phone. I think we know this, but that doesn't help us stop from the bad habits of it. So let's get into the 4 actual steps that we recommend and we use in our own office here to try to get rid of some of that and make you connect with those around you. So let's do it. Number one, you need to explain to people the purpose on why you're asking them to disconnect with their phones, their apps, and their games for a little bit. And I think the main reason is to develop a deeper understanding and connection with those right in front of you and ultimately build trust with your team, your friends, your family. And you can't do that if you're paying attention to something else. If you're distracted, it's really obvious to everyone. So we like to set the parameters of, we're not doing this because we don't like you and we don't want you to be happy. We're getting you to get rid of distractions so that we can develop a deeper connection and understanding with each other. So number 1, I think you've got to explain the purpose is not to be mean, but to help you form a better connection with them. Number 2, I think you got to set really clear expectations on what you expect, because right now the social norms are pull out your phone wherever you want, play on an app. If you're in a movie theater, if you're on an airplane, if you're in a meeting, you can always play on your phones. But so set clear expectations on the front end of when you don't want people on those devices and you want them to connect, and when it's okay. So step number 3 is like, now that you've set those expectations, but what can you do about it? And we set the expectations, at least here, this is just an example that we use, is we have phone-free zones. And so on both of our conference rooms, we have signs that are like phone-free zones. Like, don't even bring them in here. And if you accidentally bring them in, like, put them up front and just stay off them, because we're going to be here together right now. So we're just going to kind of let phones be out of it. So those are places we just don't want to have phones. The second location that we don't like to use phones is at meals. And so if you're having a meal, if it's a lunch meeting with friends, if it's lunch, dinner meeting with clients, we stack the phones. You're going to bring them with you. Like, you're not going to not walk into the restaurant. Somebody's going to say, well, I have to be ready in case my spouse or somebody needs me. It's funny, for thousands of years, we got away with not being quite that available. And it's probably okay if you're not available like every minute of your day to other people. So I think it's okay to turn your phone off some of the times and not be available. But let's assume that there's an emergency. Well, they can put it on vibrate and you stack the phones. Now, here's the key. It's got to be fun. So whoever touches the phone first, they got to pay for the meal, or they got to pick up a tip or something like that. Now, people that don't want to play that game means they'd rather be on their phone. So maybe you just don't have dinner with them. Maybe they just don't participate in that meal. And you'd be like, well, then go do that. No harm, no foul. They're going to take offense to it, but man, you got to break these bad habits. And we try to say at meals, stack the phones, be present, be aware, and you can get on them when you're heading back to work or something after the meal or before the meal. So that's at least the zones that we have. If you've got any other suggestions on where you can have these kind of phone-free zones, I'd love to hear it. And the fourth big tip is, this is going to be tough. You got to lead by example. So that means you've got to put your phone down too in those phone-free zones. So like, I don't know what other tips you've got out there. I'd love to hear about them. This is going to be a struggle we're all going to have for a number of years. So good luck. God bless. I hope we can put down some of the tech and actually connect with those around us. And I think you'll find you have deeper, better communications in the future. So wish us luck. Thanks.